Hey guys, welcome back. Now that I've got my Synology network server up here, finally installed and up and running, it's time to actually make use of some of the tools that are provided within the DSM, which stands for the Disk Station Manager, made by Synology, to actually bring it to its full potential and stretch your legs and optimize the workflow. So today I'm going to be installing Active Backup for Business, which is a tool made by Synology. Now, I have a dual boot system here. This is my primary workstation. It has on one operating system, I have Windows 10, and that is on an M.2 SSD drive because it's super fast. I recommend that, by the way, especially if you have Windows. And on the second drive, the second boot system is Linux CentOS, and I have an SSD drive for that as well. 500 gigabytes on an SSD is not very much room at all. And if you have a lot of softwares, including things that have to do with visual effects like myself, it takes up a lot of space. And that 500 gigabytes of space on an SSD goes very quickly. You do all your installs and you have your system up and operating as you like it. So there's really no room for storage for any of the big files or any kind of storage that has to do with real work. So I read and write directly to the Synology NAS. So that's the mainframe. It acts as a mainframe like a studio server would in a professional environment. And it runs on at a transfer rate of about 10 gigabytes a second. Today, I'm going to be using Active Backup for Business to back up my Windows drive, my Windows SSD, as an identical, mirrored, fully functional image, like a bare metal image of that Windows drive directly on the Synology NAS. I absolutely love this tool, Active Backup for Business, because it's going to eliminate and eradicate this significant pain point that I've been experiencing many times over the past few years since I first started in visual effects. I can't tell you how many times it happened where my computer would crash, whether it was from the hardware, the software, the instability of Windows, or maybe it was triggered by the dual boot when I had Linux and Windows running in there at the same time. I've been through it all. And sometimes when I'd have to reinstall Windows, it would take days, if not a week, because I'd have to install all the softwares that go with it. I'd have to contact all the vendors for all the licensees for the softwares, and to customize my desktop and customize the computer just as I like it. It was a real big time waster, and this tool makes it easy because none of that will be a problem anymore. I can simply restore the actual image that I'm going to be backing up directly from the Synology network server, and it can all be done very quickly, like within 1 hour's time. So this is a document from Synology here that explains the different types of backups and the different solutions. And this right here is the column for the backing up the computer server. And you can see here from the backup source, we've got the Windows or the server itself. In this case, it's going to be the Windows PC. And the destination is going to be in the Synology NAS. So the next one that we have here is this one's called the Synology Drive Backup. And so the source is the actual Windows or Linux Ubuntu or the Mac, and the destination is going to the NAS. So the difference between these two is that one can back up the Mac OS and Ubuntu, and the other one is primarily just for Windows and the server. I'm going to go ahead and connect to the DSM online just by typing in this address here using Quick Connect. Then I'm going to open up the control panel and open up the package center, and I'm going to go ahead and download Active Backup for Business here and install it. Once that's ready, I'm going to go ahead and take this backup or Active Backup for Business and just put it on my desktop on the DSM desktop here, just so that I have faster access to it, because this is something that I'm going to be using relatively frequently, at least once a month or a few times a week. It's going to do the backup, but I'd like to have access to it just to check up on it and make sure everything is good. So now that the package is activated, this is what the actual dashboard within the Active Backup for Business looks like. So these are all the different device tabs in the environment. So this includes PC, physical server, a file name, physical server, Also virtual machines. We can also look at the backup storage targets, the restoration status, activity logs, as well as global settings. On the right side of the screen, you're going to see a wide variety of different data sources and the different successful backups and any kind of warnings we might get. If there was any issues with the backup or if anything went offline, this is where it's going to tell you all that information. If you go to the Synology Download Center, the first thing you're going to need to do is download the Synology Active Backup for Business Agent. So I'm going to go for the 64-bit because I'm using Windows 10. I'm going to go ahead and run the wizard to install the application. And this is going to take a few moments. All right, that's done. Now I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put in the server address as well as the server credentials and the password to get into my server so that it can start connecting. And there it is. So it's showing me that it's just made the connection here, and it's asking me to confirm. So now that that's connected, I can click on PC here, and now I can finally see my desktop there. So that wasn't there before, and so now it's always going to be there. And the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and create a task. This task is pretty much creating the backup to automate it. So I'm going to go ahead and name it. So this is the name of my workstation. I'm going to back up the entire device here, and so that's kind of like a bare metal image. It's pretty much the same thing. I want to do them to run on about 3 days a week. Now here I'm going to tell the computer or tell Synology to keep only 7 of the latest versions, and I'm going to tell it to the latest version of the day for 30 days and keep the latest version of the week for 52 weeks. Then it's going to go ahead and show me my summary here, and I'm just going to go ahead and click on apply and begin the backup. And there we go. So you can see it, number 2 on the list there. It says Xeon Workstation. That's the name of my workstation, and it's starting to back up, and it's going to be relatively quick. So that top one there, I'm just going to delete this one because we do not need this one. This was created by default, and there's no point in having extra backups or any kind of confusion, so we'll just keep one. So once that's done now, it's going to show you exactly the status of it, and it's successful. So it only took about 44 minutes, and that was about just under 500 gigabytes of data on my Windows drive, on my Windows M.2 SSD drive. And so now that's all automated, and I don't have to think about this. I don't have to worry about this anymore. And if my computer crashes, I don't really have to break a sweat. It'll be done, restored within an hour. So there you have it. I hope you guys enjoyed this simple and very quick tutorial on how to back up your workstation. If you guys liked it, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and stay tuned because I will have many more tutorials on showing you the different tools that you should be implementing if you have one of these things. These things are definitely worth these investment. And by the way, I am not sponsored by Synology. I'm just a normal, simple visual effects artist that is making use of all this awesome technology that we have now in 2021. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Catch you guys later. Peace.